Pastor Simba is the founder and programs coordinator of Strong Bonds Marriage Africa. He is also an author of a book titled The Marriage Handbook, and is a pastor at Praise City Church. Pastor Simba, Pastor Simba.
But you know, I was in good hands. Nana, Zanani.
Yes.
Yeah, whoever's going to marry Zanani, I can say with certainty I did a good job.
She got a certificate after.
Tarampa certificate.
Wow, I was tuning in and she was doing a really great job. Yes, I agree with you. So today, without taking much of your time, we're talking about the relationship bus.
Yes.
Yes.
Those are important and it.
And then you don't just know.
Yeah, a relationship bus weekend. It's an analog that I'm using today, and I've been using this analog for quite some time. I'm actually finishing up my book, runs the relationship bus, so I'm just taking stuff from my book.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's a principle that I believe can help a lot of people, my relationships, and also married virtue. So this is going to help everyone. It's not just for those that are still at dating phase and all that. So we are talking about the relationship bus because Truguti Susu, a relationship is a vehicle. It takes you from point A to point B. Whether you like it or not, you're actually going somewhere. As long as you don't know to you're actually funding.
We're going
in such a way.
Said that we should local
That's the point, weekend. So it's not a serious thing, just small kind of relationship, just to pass time. There's nothing like that, because there's just a lot that happens in a relationship than what we see. There's a lot of soul tying that happens. There's a lot of giving and taking that happens. In some of these things, you don't even see them. You only see that manifesting years later. Could this I probably picked it up from that relationship? So apparently, relationship means small. They get 2 minutes. You know, I hear a lot of people saying that, especially those that are married. They will say, you know, it was not really an affair, a fully fledged affair, but to my messages, to my exchange. It's a relationship. It's taking you somewhere. It might look like it's small, but it's taking you somewhere. So we need to come to a place where we accept the fact that relationships are vehicles that are designed to take you from one place to the next. That's the reason why Amos chapter 2 verse 2 says that can two walk together unless they've agreed? Walk together, meaning that they are in a journey. So if you are married, I want you to realize that you are in a journey. If you are married, if I would say it like that, married. You know, how she pronounces it. Yeah, so it's important for us to realize that even if you're in a relationship, whether you're dating to marry or you're just dating for fun, is some hood, though I don't recommend that. You're actually heading somewhere. You are leaving a certain place and you're going somewhere. So relationships are vehicles. They are, in this particular case, I want to use, you know, the term bus, relationship bus. Just like Jesus would teach through parables. You know, parables are what? They are an earthly story with a heavenly meaning. And today I'm also going to share with you an earthly story with heavenly meaning and also a, you know, relationship meaning, if you were to say, put it in that way. So relationships are journeys. It's a journey that you're in, and because it's a journey, there's a pickup point. Apana journey inongotangira apa, you know, pakati. There's a pickup point. Okay, there's also some milestones. Kuti alright, pataenda ku kwakati, you know, we pass through this city, this town. There are milestones there. So there's also a destination. You know, before you embark on a journey, you need to be very clear as to the destination. But what is the destination? You know, Vicky, I'm big on that. Marital visions. You know, that one must actually, in fact, a couple must actually come up with a marital vision, and this applies also to those that are dating. We must define every relationship that we're in. It must be defined. Don't get into a relationship with some definitions. because relationships my definitions, definitely there are no boundaries to talk about. So if we are dating, we need to address the big question: why are we doing this?
Yes.
And rooted ekamira say, I want to understand kuti tichamira papi, tichita recess papi, tichita break papi, tichapfuura pick up my passengers papi. Those are questions that have to be addressed before you embark on a journey. For instance, you need to understand weekend uchitanga nemunhu wako kutobvumirana kuti, you know what, inini I believe I'm a polygamist by nature. We don't want these things to come up 10 years later.
Mama Nerani kids like you're saying 10 years later, and then Jones kumba kwedu titori
oharikendudza when we're dating
kuti ndozva urongo handinawo. I'm not going to sign up for that,
If you can, relationships are vehicles. I don't want to ask you this question on air. Utazonipindura kwega. But I'll ask. But uzonipindura kwega. Wambukira mshika ironda kwa afundo. Kuruto answer.
Yes, mshika. Actually.
You target the front seat and you think you're going to be free by front seat. Where's the relaxer? What's the roller? Pombonoka. And then just 2 streets down the road. And if you're unfortunate, but that's what happens now in most relationships. 5 years, 10 years down the line, wakunzi raumwe, wakunzi ngatingogarisana and watomuzva accept kuti andizviripo ndiri mushika. So relationships are vehicles, and we need to understand that. And there are certain discussions that must happen before you get into that mushika or that bus that you're getting into. Relationships are destiny vehicles. They will lead you to somewhere. That's a fact. So whatever destiny you are earmarked for, whether namari kana uti wacho you aspire to be, whatever, that destiny is affected by the relationship that you jump into, because that relationship is going to be a vehicle that takes you to that place that you want to be. You may end up worse off or better off. I'm sure you know some people vakarora kana kurorwa and they end up better off. And then there's some that you look at and you say, this person had so much potential, but the marriage it then came in and that was the end of whoever they were meant to become. So marriage it's actually a good thing, but if you get into the wrong vehicle, it actually destroys whatever dreams you had, whatever destiny God had put before you. So it's very important that you understand the impact that a relationship has on your destiny as an individual. Therefore, you need to worry about relationship, who's going to marry you. You need to worry about that. And also some people take or some relationships rather, they take you to a wrong destination. One baby to end up in a different place. I'm sure or in another country, or in a wrong bus. That people you can get to if you fly a lot, my boarding gates. If you're at the wrong boarding gate,
wrong boarding gate, and then there's pasara time shoma rachona right okwirwa a coach kwenda ku that boarding gate impasa simba zviriko
kana uchida kuona kuti unogona kumhanya ndopanomhanyiwe papo patoma sports. So it's important that when you're in a maybe let's call it a relationship airport, you need to understand that there's a particular gate where I'm boarding from, and please hang around that particular boarding gate, because if you don't, you end up being inconvenienced, and it will be too late. So there are some relationship buses that will take you to the right destination. They are there. I don't know what is lead to a wrong destination. There are some that will take you to the right destination. And I know a handful of people that are living life irribo simply because they made the right choice from the beginning as to who to marry, who to date, things like that. So those are decisions that must not be taken lightly. Okay? You must not take those decisions lightly. Then there are some buses, weekend Oguti, you travel in style. then some you travel in strive.
Yes, really cool.
Yeah, kuni mamma bus with you know, you actually need an umbrella.
Yes,
Why that bus?
She knew one, and you know, just a whole lot of
only that we can't mention names, but the buses like that, they are not comfortable.
Mama won't this is my first relationship. Really cool.
Yeah, but mama relationships only so it's my prayer for everyone that you get into a bus, you hop into a bus, you can actually travel in style, not in strive, which in say. Some relationship buses, weekend, they also end up on sitting on bricks. Ambona zvimwe mabhazi zvakambobva kune imwe nyika singakwanisi kutaura futi nemazita vanhu vaingotumira mabhazi anditi kuno mabhazi acho hatina maspesa acho and kuno kwacho tikunzi ameno muzukuru akangwara ndiye ngaamanage that bus and all that, and before you know it that bus ends up sitting on bricks. And there are relationships like that are struggling. There are actually relationships that are struggling now, that are on bricks, that are on the brink, you know, of they are together but they're not together. They are under the same roof but they've since divorced. The other time I was talking to some people about a common trend that's there now. It's so worrying, weekend. You see people during the day but come usiku divorces very true. That phenomenon is sleep divorce.
Oh, is it?
Sleep divorce. I'm not giving people ideas, but I'm just saying what it is.
And you're thinking because they are together. So when they are under the same roof apart.
Even the sleep divorce, one anangari murume yake, the other murume yake. That's how it is. And then during the day, they want to act up for the kids and all that. And then there are some relationship buses that then end up like I'm a chicken runs or my fowl runs. You know, you have people that say it's no longer, that relationship is no longer serving its purpose, because must be a priority in your relationship. Kids are secondary. Everyone else is secondary. Your wife, your husband is primary. That relationship is primary. But it has just become like that bus that has been converted and it has become a chicken run. It's just that but nothing much is happening. That bus is not moving, it's not going anywhere. So the big question is, what legacy are you leaving behind? It's about the legacy that you're leaving behind for the kids. Mom and dad had a good marriage.
They loved each other.
They loved each other. And besides the money that we're inheriting, besides the properties that we're inheriting, we're also inheriting a culture, a subculture that has been created by our parents, and we want to move it forward. We want to move with it going forward. Now, now that we've established relationships are like buses, they take you from point A to point B. It's important for us to also know how to pick the right bus. You know, when you're ordering in drive, they say go to pick your driver.
Yes. And
you know, most of us, what we do, we look at the faces.
Yes.
People judge. Do you know that they don't judge a book by its cover? People judge a book by its cover, and they also judge a book by its contents. That's a subject for another day. But you know what? You still, if you're going to ride on a bus, you also need to make a choice as to which bus to go in, to go in. You need to make that choice. So number one, you need to choose. So number one, your choice, the choice that you make will soon make you. The choice that you make will soon make you. Understand that. If you don't make the right choice, you are a sum total. What you are today, it is a sum total of the choices that you made. You know, today is a result of yesterday.
So true.
Today is a result of the decisions that we made yesterday. Saka, it's important for you to make the right choice. Why is that important? Because the choice as to who to marry is the second most important choice that one must make in their lives. Guess what is the first most important choice, Vikendi?
And giving your life to Christ. Yeah. I got it.
Very soon you'll be prophetess, Vikendi. You receive it.
Yes.
Okay. So the second to that, obviously, is who to marry, because these are destiny partners. These are people that nudge you into the right direction, towards the God-given destination. So if you make a mistake there, you miss out on a lot of things. Saka, the choice you make will soon make you understand that. Before you make a choice, understand that. And don't make a rushed choice. It's about your life. I'm also quite controversial when it comes to this weekend, but this is my belief. I believe that women are not, I said this last week, there were about 400 women that were in one room. It was a conference, Emma Bakers. And I say to them, the young girl, or women rather, in general, they are not empowered unless they are at a place where they can make decisions concerning relationships, concerning who to date and who not to date. But if they are people who gun on your throat, date me, marry me, and they have no decision to make in that decision making process, then they are not yet empowered. Women need to be in a place where they can say no or yes, and they are not feeling threatened, and they are okay, they're at peace with their decisions. They need to make the right decisions, because the word no is a very powerful word. It's a full sentence. Come on, it's powerful. It can actually help you avoid certain places or certain situations if you know when to say no and how to say no. When to say no and how to say no. You can say no, but you are still in the same place. You can't be Joseph and you're saying no to Potiphar's wife and you're still there enjoying the niceness. Stop it. I like it. Things like that. You have to run away. So you need to know how to use the word no. I think it's a subject again for another day, because that's the game changer for most people out there, particularly young ladies. Know how to say no. When it comes to relationship choices, relationship decisions, make a decision for yourself. Number 2, it's your choice to make. I need to spend some time on this weekend, because a lot of people think God will bring someone to you and say, marry this one or else. No, it's your choice to make. God has given us what is called free will. We can make choices regarding which job to take, where to stay, what to eat. I mean, you can't be asking God every morning. You can't be doing that. God has given you the ability to make choices. But however, He has given you the guidelines. That's where people miss it. Of course, we preach and we talk about how God gave Eve to Adam. And we wasn't weekend with Adam akapuwa mukadzi, yes. But when you then go deep into the scriptures and you try to translate from the original Bibles, that word giving, it's better replaced with the word presented. So God presented Eve to Adam. Presented Eve.
Then Adam said, "That's her. That's the one for me.
Exactly.
That's the bone of my bone."
At that point, Adam actually, in my picture, him jumping and saying, "What? This is the person that I've been waiting for. This is the person that I'm supposed to do life with." But prior to that, God would bring animals, isn't it? And the Bible says that He would bring an elephant, He would bring chichichi, and then God would watch. And Adam would actually name. So God gave him the right to name, to say, okay, this is a dog. I want to have a relationship with the dog or not. It was up to Adam. This is going to be domesticated, so I'll call it chichichi. It was Adam's right to make a decision, and that hasn't changed. God will present women to us, men. God will present a man to you, as a woman. God will present, but it's up to you to make a decision whether to go for that person or not. You make a decision. Every day, weekend, women are being presented to men. Every day, when Adam will present Eve every day.
Every day.
Yeah. And now the challenge is that when Eve wonder, so you really need to be very intentional and careful when you're choosing the right Eve for you. But God has done his job.
So every day, imagine.
God has done his job. He has presented. And so kuna mama kumana watu wakatongomira zvoti mwari achandipa nchanzo chivoice kuti uyu ndiye wako chichichi. Ayo hatikuramba zvedu. There are moments where God actually speaks to you clearly, audibly. Kuti even in a dream, there are moments where God chooses for you, like in the case of Hosea and Gomer. You know that story? There are cases like that are trampled, we can't box God. But many times God has given you the free will. when you look into Genesis chapter 24, I think that's a story for another day again, you see the story of Isaac. Kuti baba wake wasati afakatoudza the servant kuti please inamutsvagira munhu kwakati. That was the choice yemunhu. It was nothing like kuti hey mwari vanditi titore kwakati, no, but akatoudzwa once inamutsvaga kwakati anditi, and then he made an oath, zvanzi itai an oath kuti hauzotore mwana akadai anditi. So in other words, they had no specific person that they were hunting for, but they knew kuti the liberty to choose, it was their decision to make. So that's how it happens.
I wish we had more time for this bus, hey, our Pastor Simba relationship bus. For those who want to get in touch with you,
please add me on 0773 000 0773 000. I need your name and your marital status. Do that you are married or single. Kutitangi ma conversations edu. Because I'm going to put you in a broadcast list for married and for singles. So please, I need to know your status. Otherwise, please remember to love God, love people, and love relationships.
Thank you so much, Pastor Simba Waloza. We'll do this again next week, same time. Relationship Goals. We're also live on Facebook. You can go watch this and share it with someone. I'm V Candy, back with you tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow belongs to God. It is 12 midday time for now. In Dab.